Hey, Gen X, Chosen Ones, God, Eagle Eyes. I'm back for another video, which is from, I think, 2 hours ago when the video says, I don't wanna. Well, this is Paula. Welcome to my channel. Mental illness is real. I'm right here in my kitchen and everything. I had made me a nice chicken sandwich and stuff with some chips. Drinking my water, turned on the heat, got cool, just turned it off for 5 minutes, walked out the door, checked my mail right here in the hallway, and been getting my walks in, okay? So I'm up for the night. I've been asleep most of the day, so my nighttime shift, full-time content creator, is starting now, and I'm getting ready to do some sketches. A lot of times I like to push. I would just do three a night, or it's 7 days a week. But if I miss 2 nights, this is my computer abstract art sketches. If I normally like to do three of them, but I'll push and do seven. It all depends on how I'm feeling and everything. And yes, though it is, it's like another book that I'm creating because I already have two self-published books of my abstract art that I did with my hands. But excuse me, this is computer art. This is another project. And yes, thank you for my sponsors, Mr. Zachary and Latanya. I'm so grateful. If you like to be a sponsor to what I do for this channel, you're welcome. Everything is in the description. I have two self-published books. If you like to order, or if anybody wants a, uh, Christian spiritual awakening dealing with abstract art and stuff, DM me. Um, it is a charge, so just DM me and we'll talk. So yeah, it's after 12 p.m. that night, but yet it is Tuesday, February the 11th in Carrollton, Georgia, an hour away from Atlanta, born and raised. And I'm on my night shift, so I'm gonna see how a couple hours I'll be up. And after I work, which is my full-time content creator, I used to do three videos a day for 7 days a week. So now I'm over 500 videos, and thank you God for 76 subscribers and others of views. So it's whatever, however God leads the atherism, So shout out to the YouTubers and my subscribers. So I'm talking about today is really laid on my heart tonight, rather, is my mom and her dementia. And like I said, rest in peace. It'll be 3 years, February the 18th, 2022. Talking about her dementia. And yes, this is me living with bipolar 2 disorder, and I didn't know. I don't even think I was diagnosed then. So I know, I think around 50, I know my present to myself was my uh, pickup truck once I sold my house uh, several years ago while I was in Douglasville. So now my truck is about 9 years old or so. But I know I had my truck then when I was taking care of my mom. But I don't know. I know I was going to the same doctor and stuff, but I don't know if I was taking the meds. That's crazy. I just don't know. But anyway, I've learned that I had bipolar 2 it's had to been depression and stuff all my life because, like I said, my father died when I was 5, and all this was packed in me. I didn't understand what was that. Losing grandparents when you growing up, and all this stuff, just losing friends and people when you growing up. I say I'm done going to funerals. I just don't want to just see family at funerals. So because we didn't do family reunions anymore. So and most of my people are just beside my children that are grown and have grandchildren that are growing up. They're older generation. I so my mother. Yeah, I miss her, but I don't miss the dementia. I wanted to talk to you about caregiving. It ended up where make a long story short, because I don't want to get too much in it and relive this stuff. But I understand what caregivers, what you all going through, but also with your parents with dementia and everything. It's really something. It's not easy. So I end up going broke. I was going broke after I left. After I sold my house and everything and took care of all my bills, everything that was going on. Okay, so it was coming down to the fact that my mom, I had to shut down my office that I had for going on a year. I really couldn't concentrate, so she was getting everything was just coming down on her, and so I had to take over looking after my uncle and his estate, blah 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 blah. Now my mom, we was going to get her diagnosed, but eventually she did get diagnosed because we didn't know what was going on. She had COPD. I had to deal with her tank 24/7. Well, make sure her tank was okay, and we had a lady coming in with the caregiver with the agency that was dealing with caregiving and everything, and that was a big help to give me a break when they come. I could leave and go wash her clothes, and or what have you. So it was a bit much because I was dealing with what I was dealing with, and like I've said before in other videos, that a lot of people do it. Cause I tell you that mental thing, that mental estate, we do everybody deal with mental health challenges, especially in these days. But mental health challenges, oh my God, mental is in everything we do. You got to be in the right state of mind to make decisions. It's always mental, 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 mental. Okay, so man. So I had to take care of their business, like household business and blah, 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 because I was in the legal paperwork by a lawyer to do that. If anybody else, like a family member outside of that, were trying to operate and deal with stuff with their estate, they were out of place, So you just can't deal with the person that we made paperwork with, and everything is on paperwork. You have to set boundaries and rules, whoever is dealing with what is on the paperwork, so um it was some different things was going on, but God had it to us to keep going with it, no, regardless, you know of anything. We had to just go by the legal way. A family member just couldn't go up to that person that we was over the estate, and it's another word for it because I had to be over it with my mom too. But you got to have it certified. It's got to be done by a lawyer and legal. But you can't just go to that person just because you're a relative and say, "Hey, can I do this, do this, do this?" And the person is gonna say yes, and then the other person thinking that a family member is always something dealing with family members, that when stuff comes about of people estates or people personal belongings, that's the purpose when you put them in a assistant living or a nursing facility, or whatever, you got to make sure they got to make sure their stuff is in order, so the agency won't take over their stuff. That's why when you got people that can really advocate for you, it works out. But if you don't and you're alone, then either the state will get whatever, and or the agency of the nursing home will, take everything and take over. But they did have to take over their um retire, like the social security check and stuff. And I understand that, by putting my mom in a really nice facility that was in Cobb County, because she had never lived out of Fulton County. And don't mean to step on toes, sorry, but not sorry. I didn't want her to be in Atlanta caregiving home places. But I really was glad of the one I put her in, because I would think about me if I was being, in one, I wouldn't be in something. I wouldn't put nobody in something that I didn't want to be in. I checked out one in Atlanta and stuff. Oh my God. Anyway, that's another story. I don't, it's amazing because I've been a PA, a person assistant. I don't care how nice an agency is or who come to your home or whatever it is, it's always going to be some mess, some drama, or something. I don't care what culture it seems like it is between certain cultures. If you can get my drift, it's going to be shorter help. It's going to be people coming out of other countries. They got nasty attitudes. I don't want to say who they are, but they know when they come to this country, they can always get into nursing. Because they will always have a job. Okay, and some of them got nasty attitudes. Everyone that I have dealt with, I thought I was just gonna go off on one. When my mom, if I eventually had to put her in uh, a nursing home, which they ended up putting her in memory care. But when she was in her room at first, I was making sure if she could get a shower, they had certain days for that, certain days to wash her clothes or whatever. There's always something going to get misplaced. I had my daughter's. But that's another thing. I was going to. I'm later. It's going to be getting back into my abstract art on canvas, like acrylic paint and stuff like that. When I have the budget to, because I live now below the below my means. Okay, and I end up now this month I have to pay $100 light bill, because the only thing I deal with is my rent and light bill. Some senior homes, that senior living high rises that go by income or whatever, they have everything, like lights and stuff included with the rent. But this is electric, so I'm grateful, and I'm just grateful how things go because of my right now, because of my living, because of my living, getting paid is through sponsorships and counseling people, counseling peers rather, of mental health. So back to my mom and stuff, where it ended up where she put me out because I had a nervous breakdown. I couldn't deal with. I was cooking 3 times a day. I constantly, constantly for almost a year. And like I said again, I had to shut down my business and everything and sold my house because it was getting to the point that having a responsibility of anything dealing with a house, or I don't care if it's an animal or children, I'm just not in the state of mind and space as in relationship or marriage. I'm just not in that. This year, 2025, God said you got to work on yourself, your heart. You got to work on yourself. You got to get yourself physically fit. And I didn't have time to get a chance. You so busy working on everybody else, you letting yourself go. Even though we had the income, like I say, I know what it's like to have money and not. But we was in a great, comfortable income to for me to take care of them for 3 years until they died. For me to help my, uncles, my mom's siblings with, the funeral arrangements, and then I did my mom's on my own. And so, like I said, back again, this lady, when I was getting her settled, and I'm jumping everywhere, y'all. I'm sorry because my mind is racing. That's what it is, a part of menopause and having living with bipolar 2. And so I'm just telling you, educating you by my experience as a Gen X, 58 years old. I'll be 59 March 21st next month. And so I had to get something like her purse out the room. And I said, can I just step in here right quick and grab her purse? She was like, this lady from another culture that I always had problems with, these culture, this certain culture. She was mopping, but she said, no, not right now, I'm mopping. I understand that. But I have to get my mom's purse to get her personal information out. And this is in the room that she was in. Now, if you gonna mop first and then me coming back in there to get the purse, it didn't make no sense because of I would track it. So before you get in this spot, let me get this. Oh, but the devil was in her. And I walked in there and got the purse and came on out. I said, in the name of Jesus, I plead the blood of Jesus. If this demonic spirit is not gonna be bothering with us today, and she better not deal be out of place with my mother. So I just went on and got the pocketbook before she really got in that spot of where she was mopping. But this is a nice, very nice uh, facility in Cobb County. And so my mom was like, Cobb County, Cobb County. Okay, Cobb County. She kind of knew, but she never lived out of Fulton County. Now, this place, Powder Springs, and this is where she died at it too. Excuse me. Like if I said in another video, excuse me, my sinus. Um, she the rooms of 6,000. This whole facility is 6,000 a month, but it has some kind of Medicaid that can pay for it. Because you have to come out the hospital for it. But if you can afford it, like coming out your pocket, you can go from your home to the place, and you can also on weekends get them and bring them home. Let them spend the weekend, bring them, take them back. But it was something about if they still had a bed available or something like that. I don't know what it was, but I know I didn't take that chance because at the time I was going through homelessness, living in my truck off and on for 3 years after she had put me out. And when she had put me out, because of the dementia and me clashing with her, like uh, me having a nervous breakdown and dealing with what I was dealing with, not knowing, then I didn't bother with her for a year. Only thing I did was took care of her, manage her business, and then paid the neighbor. Yeah, she had good neighbors that helped out around there too, but paid the neighbor to just bring her finance or whatever up so the rent and stuff could be paid. So I was still handling that, but I did not socialize with her for a year, and the caregivers were still coming in. It just so happened she had too much morphine. Something happened. I never knew how to give her her medicine, but the caregivers did, the one that would come in from 9 to 5 or whatever, whoever they come and stuff. And somehow she had like 12 or 13 medicine. I never knew what the heck she was taking. But anyway, God allowed her to make this phone call to 911, and they found they felt like, okay, this lady, where's this lady? She was in independent living, so it was time for her to go into a nursing home, and which was a blessing. They took on to Grady, and the social worker contacted me and said she can come back to independent living. I was so grateful, and the place that I chose, it was already on their list. I said, "Look at God." So my baby girl and I was waiting on her when they was gonna bring her from the hospital to the she was going into the rehab part and stay there for a couple of weeks because they want her to work and stretch and work her muscles and everything. But that dementia is no joke. I could not get into that world. She kept my mom would kick, and I mean the way what happened when I would go and see her by myself. But a lot of times, me and my three children, my grown children, we would go and visit her. And then COVID broke out, so we would visit her through the window and all that kind of stuff. But they let me in when she went into hospice. When the hospice came, I had to order them because she was transitioning when all that was breaking out during COVID. So I was able to come in, and me and my older daughter came in and everything. So yeah, that was pretty hectic. I had to stay away from her for a year. I was going through so much, um, still taking care of her business, and I think my uncle, everybody else had died. She was the last to die, so I was just only was able to concern to deal with to work with her, and that's when I just lived in my truck, and I was so peaceful. I was at peace. That was the best thing she ever did, was to put me out, because they allowed for me by doctor excuse to live with her until she died. I could stay there as long as I was looking after her in that high rise, because there's no somebody supposed to be in that high rise. The same way with mine, senior living, independent living, the same way. And to wrap this up, because I don't want to make this a long thing, because it's going to have to be in, I don't know. I don't want to say part one, part two, and all that stuff. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this, about dementia, because this is the month that she died. And so I always take this month now and just fast and pray and grieve. I allow that. And I have to tell some friends or some people, say, look, I can't talk right now. And my mentor, she got that. She's okay, do your thing, I understand. But I still do stay focused on my goal of being a full-time content creator and everything, and then do my fasting through certain things, and have to, eat and take my meds, and just take care of me, my heart, and get my physical work on my weight, work on my mind, keep my mind sharp. So she understands, my mentors and mentor, and I just got to still be in touch. Like if my children need to talk, I still have to you know talk with them. But the peers that I volunteer with, I had to take a mental break. They came from Georgia Regional, and they are in forensic departments, because they're still under the judge, and a lot of times they come from jail and go to Georgia Regional, which is, I guess, a 1013. If the family feel like when they don't take their meds, they be you know, out of proportion, out of their mind of whatever, and go to jail, and then be at Georgia Regional, and then come to where we was at when I was working in 2022. I would do groups with them and do one-on-one peer counseling. I was there about 8, 9 months, and then from there, when they do good, like I said, they do good to come to where I was at, it was like a house, and they can watch TV and play games and stuff on the weekend. Come through the week, they have computer. They have the computers. They can get on, check the emails and all of that, and we do 1-on-1. I check them, see how they doing. So God pulled me away from there, I still kept. I didn't supposed to do that, but I still kept in check with them. It was just volunteer, no pay or whatever, because I care about what I do. I love what I do, and I understand them, to a certain extent. And so after they leave from Georgia Regional, they do good. They can go into the forensic department, still doing they group thing and work on their GED, and from there they do good. Then released once the judge see, and some don't even have to go to the forensic department, but the judge will release them, and they can go to a group home or whatever. And so, and then they mainly would there some of the ones I know is in Athens, Georgia, 2 hours from Atlanta. But when they want to go into a group home or whatever, because the Georgia Regional was in Decatur, and they could ride the bus to where I was at for their 101 and group therapy, and we write out reports on how they doing. Well, they would either go back home from the forensic house, forensic department if they go, or they can go home from Georgia Regional if they do good. And if they want to go to a group home after that, if they don't want to live with family, or family don't want to, you know, uh, want them to be independent and don't, whatever the case may be, then they would rather be in Atlanta so they can get around, have bus, transportation and all of that things that is good for them. So, as an advocate for mental health, I work with a lot of Gen X's as well, so I could get them. I conversate, advocate for them with the managers and of senior living and all of that, and stay in touch with um, HUD homes and Section 8 lists, to get them in, or, to stay in touch with, and just, just stay in touch with different agencies to have things, because I'm 1-on-1 with them. And like I said, all of this was volunteering, unless someone want to bless my ministry, which is a ministry, street ministry of dealing with mental health, you know, peers, peer support. And so, with my LLC is dealing with the abstract art and everything, which I have books, self-published books of. But I say all that is because, the dementia was, whew, and this is all what I was still doing as I was working with my mom, but all my attention had to really go on her until, like I said, it was a good thing she put me out. It was a blessing, because ain't no telling what would have happened. I would have just, I don't know what, because 2 times she's just up on the floor, because they got security down there, so she couldn't get out. But she ran out the room. I had to end up sleeping with my clothes, and I had to grab her, bring her back in the room. A lot of times I would wake up. I was trying to sleep like when she slept, because I noticed she would sleep during the day or take a nap and then wake up like 3 o'clock every morning. And I'd be just falling asleep because I would be on my computer. She never slept in her bed, so I would sleep in her bed. She had a 1 bedroom, very nice, up on the 11th floor, next to the Tyler Perry studio that he bought next to them, because they was there, that high rise at work, not high rise, was there way before he decided to purchase that one, the first one. So my mom had a beautiful life. She had her flowers while she was living, like I've said before. I just drove her around. She didn't care about driving anyway. I had been driving her around since I was 16. And or she used to catch the bus when she was working, and she was always the top salesman of whatever. She was working with the family business, and count money. She was a director, one of the top directors, and Mary Kay always was flying Delta to Texas for the Mary Kay event. All this stuff, classy woman, finished Spelman, and all that stuff. But anyway, make a long story short, she's just remember stuff in the past, and it was just a lot. It was a lot. I was her only child. And the next video later, I want to talk about how I felt as an only child, the clashes we went through. You know, a lot of, I was a daddy's girl, so it was some things that, we didn't like of each other, but we loved each other. Okay, so it's a lot of parents and girls and sons and go through that with their mom and dad, and that's in the Bible. So I want to speak on that maybe tomorrow sometime. It's going to be all about, I guess, this month dealing with off and on dementia and our parents, and when we have to take care of them, or you know, some um, people think that they have children just because we did for them what you supposed to, you know. Now that's the children uh, decision if they want to be bothered with you. But some people think just because they have children, they supposed to take care of them and grandchildren. But we don't know who gonna take care of us. Man, I ask the Lord, please, before I go to anything like that, let me die in my sleep peacefully. Please don't let me have to go into a nursing home and all that stuff. Even if I live to be 80 or 90, let me still be able to do what I do in my own place. Be able to be, some people 90 years old, they up now, they stay with uh maybe a child that has a very nice setup, clean home, but they 90 some years old, which is my ex father-in-law. He still drive his Mercedes and everything. And I'm gonna tell you something. When you see elderly in their 70, 80, 90s, 60s or something like that, driving a Mercedes. Now, I know younger people get it, rappers and all that, but when you see them in that age, I don't care if they were good parents or not, whatever they've been through in their life, and I'm not saying if they was a bad person, like, killing for whatever, that's between them and God. I can't, I'm not a judge. But when you see elderly people in their 60s to their 90s and they can still drive, and they drive a Mercedes, Rolls Royce, and stuff like that, they have earned that. Everything they've been through, they have earned that. If you can't get yours, some people may want one at 20 or 30. Well, work. All you have to do is work. You can get whatever you want when you work and do it legally. But yeah, it's drug dealers and stuff out there, and they drive that. But when you see an elderly drive that, they have earned it. And you've earned it if you are a celebrity or if you just worked hard and want to drive it. You know, and are you, as they say, getting the bag? That's another video I want to talk about. The way it sounds, getting the bag. it's, but anyway, I guess because I'm old school and I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But that dementia, Alzheimer's is no joke. So I was grateful for where she was at, but some of the help I'm very displeased of. But I'm grateful God was with her. And like I said again, sometimes the staff member was laughing at my mom. It would tickle me at times because me and my friend, we would laugh about certain things, and we find ourselves doing it. But oh, it just tickle them to death, because I know how my mom acts. They'll say, "Miss Cook, you okay?" She says, "Yes, I'm just checking, making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing." She was used to that was the last thing she did was security. So that's what she had to do, and everything. And I know she done me like that with different things, and it was funny. I said, Lord have mercy, but eventually later, it's like when I would come there by myself to spend some time with, I couldn't even stay 5 minutes because she was like, Paula, I need you to take me to get my check so I could go pay my bills and stuff. And I just couldn't tell her that I had to shut her apartment down. I never could tell her that. I had to get rid of all her furniture. I had to donate all her clothes. She had beautiful clothes. Boy, if I was in the right mind at the time, not having so much on me, I could have took them clothes and sold them online. I could have had my own, what you call it, thrift store. She had so many clothes that was given to her. So many clothes when she lost weight. It was so beautiful. So, but it is what it is. But at the time, I was homeless. I was living in a shelter, and the shelter lady put me out because we had a certain program where we supposed to be going out looking for jobs and doing this and doing that. And I told her, my mom had to go into a nursing home. It took me a whole month to clear out her apartment, and I still couldn't get everything out. I had to let the lady, the manager, know if the maintenance man can get the rest of that stuff out. Keep the deposit. You know what I'm saying? It was rough. I'm the only child, and my children was busy at work and stuff. I had my baby girl. She came and helped me with taking the glasses out the cabinets in the kitchen and stuff. But shoot, my children, my son is 37, got his own family with 3 children, my grandchildren, then my daughter, older daughter's in college and all this stuff. So, and it just so happened this white lady, she was very nice, that was in the shelter with me. So I would give her stuff however she wanted. She just wanted to ride and help. So thank God for her. She would go with me to visit my mom and everything. And so, I mean, I tell you, those are some memories. But that dementia is no joke. It would just irritate me because of my mother, uh, her her state of mind. I just couldn't get into that world of dementia. I didn't even know what it was. So now I got to really still learn about it. That's what I want to do. Learn about that and Alzheimer's because I think my friend in the group home, I'm almost like her only friend that called and check on her other than her brother that is left and her nephew take care of business and stuff. Her best friend that she used to always go to her house, another good friend that I met of hers, stayed over there about T.I., she and her husband. She has Alzheimer's. We don't even know what happened to her. So this is life, and I had to share this. Living with bipolar 2 disorder, mental illness is real. And I just hope this touched somebody because this is not for everybody. This is for the ones who deal with parents that they have to caregive for, Alzheimer's, dementia, whatever. I don't, please, if you're getting into this to caregive or if you're coming out or whatever, please, you need so much support. You need therapy. Get therapy, counseling, whatever you can as a caregiver. You need it. If you caregiving for your husband, anybody, child, if you got a special need child, you need all the support, everything. This is no joke. You got to put God in you first. You know, we are so busy taking care of everybody else, just like Big Mama. Big Mama was married, taking care of grandchildren because of her children and everybody else. And which was a beautiful thing, but people they honored her. Big mamas of your family, they honored her. That's why Mother's Day is so big, you know. So you all, I just wanted to share that. It really I have no regrets. I mean, I know I've done what I could do, what God had me to do. I just have to talk about it. Talk into this. I'm talking to myself into this phone, upload it on YouTube as a full-time content creator to bless billions of people, however many people there is to reach, to share, to educate you, through my experiences as me living with bipolar 2 mental illness. And like I said again, I didn't have the patience. It was so hard. It was so hard. But I would get on that part too because I really, I know I had a nervous breakdown. And to see her and to talk with her there and for her to go back as if I was going to pick her up and take her, and that's what I did, but take her to take care of her business back in the day. She still thought of that, like she still was living that. Oh my God. I pray that you or me or nobody would not have to experience something like that as Gen X's. Even some people younger than that. Some people in their 20s are going through that, special need and all of this stuff. But anyway, you all, I just want to let you all know, Jesus love you. Continue. If you could want to comment on this, please do like, subscribe, share to bless someone else. It doesn't cost you nothing. You know, we're here to let's help each other. We're fam. You will see me going through my mental health challenges day by day. You know, today I got my wig on and everything, the lipstick, whatever. Just, but I've been making, I wear my own hair, looking whatever way I look, however I feel. I'm just keeping it authentic, keeping it real. This is what you see is this what it is, what you get. So anyway, Jesus, just know Jesus love you. I love you. And hit the notification button every time I upload. I appreciate you all. See you on the next video.